O'Brien.
Hi folks, Basil Chapman sitting in for Tommy O'Brien. This is a Tom O'Brien show, 3 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and we're looking at this Eastern time, of course, and we're looking at a fascinating session. Look at this. Here's the Dow on the left. So I have the Tiger Technicians Hour, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock each market day. I also have the opening call daily newsletter, very detailed newsletter goes out about between 8 and 8:30 every single morning. And then on a Friday afternoon, usually it's a Friday afternoon, otherwise it'll be a Saturday morning, but it's usually Friday afternoon. As the market closes, I start doing an overview. It's a weekly overview, and it's basically looking at positions that we have, positions we want to get, the market itself, what we're looking at. It's really like a webinar in a way, because I talk about what we would like to buy. For instance, last week I spoke about certain stocks. This week we put them into action. So far they're working out very well. You never know. We'll see what happens. I've got one that we bought yesterday morning, I believe, or the day before. Anyway, we just recently bought it. And earnings are coming out today. So far it's up, but you never can tell. I love the area that it's in, et cetera, et cetera. This is a period to be looking at specific areas. For instance, robotics, the data centers, the energy expended is just immense. So how companies are dealing with that. Just a lot of different things. All right, let's go through the numbers. Dow's up 70 at 45,637. Just an eye blink away from the 45,057 all-time high of the 22nd, just 5 sessions ago. Walking, so I look at the green 9-period moving average right there above the 14-period black line there. Let me just get rid of this. It's messy. Above this, don't get rid of that. There, remove. Yeah, so this black line right here, so these are basically support levels, 45,269 and 45,094. I'll just say, if by the first week of September, even maybe starting the second, if the Dow is closed decisively under 45, we've made at least a short-term top. Right now, everything's still pretty good. Daily is good. Weekly is very good. The monthly is still very good. Monthly candle finished tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Let's go to the S&P. We will have Tim Ord, so there's a lot to discuss here. Let me just get this done. So we are still long the Dow. I had a couple of short positions recently, worked out a little bit, but it was very brief, and we're back to long, only long positions. The S&P has broken out in leg C in the Chapman wave. That suggests that there could be a peak C, meaning a lower high, whatever this leg C stops at, and then a leg D, and then you've got to be a bit careful. But the weekly chart has something very different. A very quick peak C, 1 bar rest, leg D, then a peak C, 1 bar rest, and then now we're in leg E. Usually this little cluster of a very quick C to D to E says you've got to be a little careful, because you could pull back at any point and not necessarily have a sell signal or anything like that, but you've got to be ready for some kind of a sudden dip. And then the monthly chart is very strong. Looking at, and the support level will be at 6,453 and then 6,435. Those are the 9 and 14 period moving averages on the daily chart. The QQQ, now this is fascinating. Look, QQQ hasn't made an all-time high yet. It did on the 13th of August, 583.42. Slides all the way down to the 560-ish level. Now it's at 577, strong candle. 9-period, this is a technique that I teach to my subscribers, and when I have webinars, when the price falls very sharply, if that green 9-period moving average holds, doesn't go pink would be negative, it holds positive, that's usually good for a really strong rebound, and that's exactly what we're getting. Unfortunately, the MACD, the moving average, is still weak. The relative strength is weak but rallying. Stochastic's way down at 56. So this is a work in progress. So this is one that's struggling a little bit. And what it does, if it can get to the previous high, we'll see. But the weekly chart is absolutely fantastically strong. Only a peak B. And in a buy mode, you should go to at least a peak D, 4 higher peaks. Let's go quickly to the IWM, which is now catching up. It was weakening earlier on, but having made a new recovery high. So this is another Chapman wave technique. It's called the Chapman wave instant restart. We're within 3 bars after peak D. makes a new recovery high. It means immediately start thinking E, and then in your mind you can say /A, and then F/G, and then G/C, and that could even go to a D. Meantime, at 236.97, it's just a hair away, finally, from the 244 double top from November of 2021 down to 161, then back to the November of 2025 244 level. I believe it's going to make a kind of a V-shaped cup and handle pattern getting to that level in the next couple of weeks. Let's go to SMH just real quickly. There's just so much to do because we want to be prepared for Tim when he comes on. So the semiconductor is up 2 at 299. Let's call it 300. Trying to get to the 302.98. Now, unlike the QQQ, this is just an eye blink away from making an all-time high. That'll be 1 penny above the 302.98 high of the 13th. Starts a leg D. Remember, what's the obligation in the Chapman wave methodology to get upgraded from a buy signal to a buy mode, implying should go to at least a D. And the monthly chart is still very strong. So this is all very good. Let's go to gold, GC. So we are long. We are along the Dow. We are long gold. It's doing very nicely. Here it is at 34.77. It's just broken an initial resistance level. It's in the rectangle that I said. Be careful. This rectangle, you can say, my expression is a rectangle can go for a much longer time than your patience, and it keeps going to the resistance level and then down to the support level and back again. Well, it's holding very well, and what's even more important is that the GDX finally just snuck above the high of the other day. That was 61.60. Today's high is 61.62 by 1 penny. That changes its notation to a G/C. This is really very positive right there. G says, oh, be careful. C says, what are you talking about? Should still go to a D. So this is very positive, and I don't want to spend time, but I'll talk about, if I have a chance, I'll talk about this when we get back. The weekly GDX, how it broke out, that's very positive. Silver, as we go to the break, silver's doing very well. Oops, quickly, here we go. Silver. Yes, very nice. Our silver stock, CDE, core mining, is almost at a multi-year high. Very